Risk is an inherent characteristic of every business activity and represents one of the most significant considerations in strategic management, corporate governance, and organizational decision-making. In increasingly volatile global markets characterized by technological disruption, geopolitical uncertainty, regulatory change, climate risks, and evolving stakeholder expectations, organizations cannot eliminate risk entirely but must instead understand, assess, and manage it effectively. Within the program, risk management is viewed as an integral component of strategic planning rather than merely a defensive control mechanism. Effective organizations recognize that risk is inseparable from opportunity and that long-term value creation depends upon balancing potential rewards against acceptable levels of uncertainty. Consequently, senior management and boards of directors must establish governance systems that encourage responsible risk-taking while protecting organizational assets and stakeholder interests through structured risk management processes. The framework defines risk as an unrealized future loss arising from a present action or inaction, emphasizing that current decisions or failures to act may create uncertain future consequences that affect organizational performance. This definition highlights the forward-looking nature of risk and reinforces the importance of proactive management rather than reactive responses after adverse events occur. The framework further explains that risks are the opportunities and dangers associated with uncertain future events, recognizing that uncertainty may generate both favorable and unfavorable outcomes depending upon how organizations respond to changing circumstances. Modern risk management therefore extends beyond loss prevention to include opportunity identification and strategic value creation. From a strategic perspective, risk should not be viewed solely as a threat but as an essential driver of innovation, growth, and competitive advantage. Every significant strategic decision, including entering new markets, developing innovative products, investing in digital technologies, pursuing mergers and acquisitions, or expanding internationally, involves uncertainty regarding future outcomes. Organizations that avoid all forms of risk may preserve existing assets in the short term but often sacrifice future growth opportunities and competitive positioning. Conversely, excessive risk-taking without appropriate governance may threaten organizational survival. Effective strategic leadership therefore requires balancing risk and opportunity through informed decision-making, enterprise risk management, and sound governance structures that align risk exposure with organizational objectives and stakeholder expectations. The program identifies two principal reasons why organizations incur risk. The first is to gain competitive advantage. Businesses frequently accept strategic risks to differentiate themselves from competitors, enter emerging markets, adopt innovative technologies, or develop superior products and services. Such initiatives involve uncertainty because outcomes cannot be guaranteed, yet successful risk-taking may generate sustainable competitive advantage through innovation, market leadership, customer loyalty, or operational excellence. Organizations that fail to accept calculated strategic risks may lose market share to more innovative competitors capable of exploiting emerging opportunities. The second reason organizations incur risk is to increase financial return. Investors generally expect higher returns to compensate for greater uncertainty, reflecting the fundamental relationship between risk and reward in financial and strategic decision-making. Strategic investments involving new technologies, international expansion, acquisitions, research and development, or business transformation typically involve higher levels of uncertainty but also possess the potential to generate superior shareholder value. Consequently, organizations deliberately undertake calculated risks where expected benefits justify the associated uncertainty, recognizing that sustainable growth rarely occurs without accepting an appropriate degree of strategic risk exposure. Although organizations intentionally incur risk to create value, they must also establish effective systems to manage risk in order to protect assets and ensure strategic objectives remain achievable. The framework emphasizes that downside risks should be managed to identify new risks and changes in existing risks, ensuring that management remains aware of evolving threats capable of affecting organizational performance. Continuous monitoring enables organizations to adapt control systems, revise strategic plans, and implement mitigation measures before risks crystallize into significant operational failures, financial losses, regulatory breaches, or reputational damage. Dynamic risk management therefore strengthens organizational resilience by promoting proactive governance and informed strategic decision-making. Equally important, organizations should identify and exploit upside risks, recognizing that uncertainty often creates opportunities for innovation, market expansion, technological advancement, and competitive differentiation. According to the framework, upside risks should be identified to make the best use of opportunities, reinforcing the principle that risk management should support value creation rather than merely minimize losses. Modern enterprise risk management therefore adopts a balanced perspective by simultaneously protecting organizational assets while encouraging responsible innovation and strategic flexibility. This dual perspective distinguishes contemporary risk management from traditional control-focused approaches that concentrated exclusively upon downside exposure. From a governance perspective, effective risk management contributes directly to improved strategic planning, resource allocation, performance management, and stakeholder confidence. Boards of directors establish organizational risk appetite while senior management integrates risk considerations into strategic and operational decisions. Internal controls, risk assessment processes, internal audit, and continuous monitoring collectively support responsible risk-taking that aligns with long-term organizational objectives.